My name is Billionaire Brown, and I decided to make this video because I know some of the entrepreneurs out there are really confused between perception and reality. All right, more than ever, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that's really confused about perception and reality. All right, and as most of you already know, for the past few years, I've been partnered up with some great people, and several of them were able to fire their bosses at a very young age. All right, so a lot of people would consider me an expert on this topic that we're going to be talking about. So if you want to take notes, take some notes. But here we go. All right, so the topic for today is I just wanted to give y'all 10 reasons on why people stay broke. All right, 10 reasons on why people stay broke. All right, the first thing is going out and buying that new car, right? You're going out and buying a new car, right? And my personal opinion, you shouldn't have a new car until you deserve a new car, right? We don't just go out and buy cars, to impress others. We don't buy cars just to feel good, not when you're really building something, right? So that's the first thing. And a lot of times you'll see people stay broke and they 50, 60 years old. One of those reasons that they're going to forever stay broke is because they go out and buy new cars. All right, the second thing is, I know I'm going to get crushed with this one, but this is the truth. All right, the second thing is, you'll see a lot of people stay broke for the rest of their lives because they went out and bought a home too soon. Right? And as we all know, and if you follow Susie Orman, the financial guru ever, you know what she says is definitely true, right? If you don't have less than 20% down on whatever house that you're going to buy or condo that you're going to buy, you're really sticking yourself into a lifelong loan. Right, you're just sticking yourself in another loan and another debt that you got to pay, and it ain't going to be easy, right? So if you don't have at least 20% down, like Susie said, I don't recommend you purchasing a home, right? Because then you got to think about it. The reason why this is one of the reasons why I believe people stay broke is because when you got a home, it ain't just you got a home and you pay the mortgage, right? Something break in that house, guess who got to pay for it? You. Right? And anyone who owns a house, owns a home, you know how many little things that you actually got to invest into your home just to keep it going. All right, so that was number 2. Number 3 is entertainment, right? If you're making $50,000 a year, I shouldn't see you hanging out, posting pictures about you hanging out in the club last night, popping bottles, right? Shouldn't be seeing you going to the movies every single week either. Right? That cable bill that you got, always up to date on every show and every movie that's out there, that's one of the reasons you're going to stay broke for the rest of your life. All right? The fourth thing is clothes. And this is the obvious. Ladies definitely with them handbags, $600 handbags, $1,000 handbags. If you really trying to not be broke when you like 50, 60 years old, I would say hold off on those handbags. All right, hold off on them $1,000 handbags. All right, and fellas, and some of y'all ladies too, but I know some of y'all are some sneakerheads, and y'all putting $100 a week, $400 a month, $1,000 a month on sneakers. Right? So pay attention to, and like I always say, we all have these, we've all seen these stories, right? Where people have created a whole bunch of money, and sometimes we even wish that we was them, right? And you see them, they're buying jewelry, they're buying, houses, they're buying new cars, and doesn't really last that long, right? Maybe 5 years, 8 years, you'll see that stuff last. Right? So the question is, you just want to make a little bit of money right now, or you want to be financially good for the rest of your life? It's something to think about. Right? Look at, sorry, Allen Iverson, but look at Allen Iverson, right? We all knew him to be a flashy type of person. This guy's created $150 million, and he doesn't have too much to show for it right now, right? But back then in that generation, you have a lot of people who would love to have traded shoes with him. And had they had just worked and focused on these core things, they wouldn't still be in the same situation he is now. So let's go with number 5. Number 5 is an emergency fund, right? You need to have really, and if you don't have at least 8 months saved up, and again, this is some more Susie Orman, right? If you don't have at least 8 months saved up, you shouldn't really be spending like that, right? You really shouldn't be spending like that. Number 6, eating out. Oh, man. Eating out. Yep, eating out is definitely in the top 10 reasons why people stay broke. Eating out, come on, if we can't sacrifice something, can we sacrifice eating out? Right? Sacrifice, no Ruth's Steakhouse yet, right? Ruth Chris Steakhouse, you don't got to do that yet, right? If you don't have 8 months already saved up, I mean, if you do it maybe once a year, or you're taking somebody out or something like that twice a year, to Ruth Chris, okay. But really, eating out is a reason. I'm telling you, you see people eating out a lot right now. 5 or 10 years from now, because they didn't make that sacrifice, their financial, status is not going to be real good. All right, so you got to make these sacrifices. Number 7 is loaning money to family. Right? Loaning money to family. And loaning money to family is cool. Helping is fine, but you'll see a lot of people stay broke for the rest of their lives because they're loaning family members money, and they're loaning their friends money, their co-workers money, way too much, right? And that's why you'll see some people stay broke in that number 7 as well. So let's go to number 8, betting against yourself, right? You can't be in the situation where you're against yourself. You don't even see yourself not being broke ever again, right? You're still trying to beat the system. Right? Whether we're talking food stamps, or we're talking unemployment, Social Security, you try to figure out a way to beat the system, right? And that's just betting against yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with being on government assistance, but if you really don't want to stay broke for the rest of your life, I recommend that you start having more confidence in yourself, right? Seeing yourself out of your financial situation, seeing your financial situation different, right? Because of the decisions you're going to make. Number 9 is hanging around broke people. I think we've all been a victim of this, right? But when I was a child, I thought like a child, spoke like a child, and I did childish things. But now, right now, Steve Harvey said it best. If you have 9 broke friends, guess who's going to be number 10? All right, you got to stop hanging around broke people, right? Maybe maybe it's just not cold turkey, but you definitely got to start to monitor the time that you spend with broke people, right? Maybe if you spent 10 hours a week with broke people prior to this, maybe now you figure out a way you can chop that down to maybe 5 hours, right? Go into different areas, connect with different people, do different things. All right, stop hanging around broke people, because that is one of the ways you're going to stay broke too. Remember, birds of a feather flock together? Well, it's the same thing with broke people. All right, number 10. Why people stay broke. This is that people just trying to stay in, just trying to fit in, right? You ever see somebody, they're always, just trying to fit in, even when it's not a good thing, right? If it's a bad thing, good thing, they're just always trying to fit in, right? Typically, those people stay broke for the rest of their lives too. All right, so I'm going to be back tomorrow. I hope y'all liked this video. Drop me a comment. This was something that I know somebody needed to hear, right? Definitely somebody needed to hear this. And I know I needed to hear it myself just as a reminder. All right, so share this video. Hit the subscribe button. And listen, you don't have to be broke forever, right? It's just these small disciplines, these small sacrifices. And also realizing, you know what I mean? You got to realize, hey, if you're broke, start there, right? And just to validate that, you know, Warren Buffett, one of the most wealthiest men in this world, he's still living in the same house that he bought back in like the 50s. Right? Imagine how many people. Remember number, 9? We was talking about hanging around broke people. You don't think that you start making a lot of money and you making sacrifices staying where you're at right now, that if you hanging around the wrong people, they're going to say, oh, you got all this money, you need to move into a bigger place or get some bigger acres, you know, some more acres, right? But you can always look back on Warren Buffett, you know, whether if it's a sacrifice or it's just his mindset. The fact is that he's still living in the same house. Him and his wife, they're still living in the same house that he bought back in the 50s. This man has countless money, right? So let's be smart. Let's be smart. All right? Make these sacrifices. I know you could do it. All right? Peace.